This is the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This valid on the 27th of November, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. This will be valid through Wednesday next week, December the 3rd. Well, we have the departing area of low pressure. We're kind of in a in-between squeeze play here. Area of low pressure that brought us heavy wet snow across the region, especially in the southeastern corner of Vermont, adjacent Massachusetts and New Hampshire. We have a little bit of flurry activity that's going to try to make a run into parts of southern Vermont a little bit later on this afternoon. But in general, we have some pretty good weather here for Thanksgiving Day. There's a couple of different disturbances working on through. Most of this action is going to be passing off to the south of our region. And there's the departing storm system moving in through and east of Nova Scotia and the Canadian Maritimes. And we see a little bit of a disturbance trying to make it into Vermont. Looks like it's going to cross into our neck of the woods here during Thursday night and into Friday morning. And that weak system will then work across and out of the region, and it brings us a little ridge of higher pressure with some decent project weather. It looks like setting the stage for as we get into Friday afternoon, Friday night, and Saturday. That ridge of higher pressure moves on through. No precipitation to worry about, and this actually continues into Sunday with some precip getting a little bit close to us. That really doesn't arrive until it looks like on Monday or Sunday night and into Monday. It's a weak frontal system that will be working into the region. That could bring some travel issues to the area, but no concerns or threats for the utilities. High pressure builds in. This is a pretty strong and powerful one. This is located over the Great Lakes, and this will be taking a track up through Quebec. And you'll see has it builds in 1040 millibars. That's pretty powerful for an area of higher pressure, and this could have some consequences. But some decent project weather next Tuesday as that area of higher pressure in control. That moves off into the Canadian Maritimes, but it opens the door for some precipitation, a weak weather system here, an area of low pressure, 1,006 millibars, and then you're looking at the pressure gradient starting to become a little bit tighter, and that means some potential for some gradient winds along about, looks like, I'm going to say Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then some form of precipitation. It does look like mixed rain and snow shower activity as that weather system works on through. Later on, it looks like another ridge of higher pressure. Here's the 7-day forecast projections from the Water Prediction Center. And it's good news for California. You can see here a lot of rainfall projected here as the west coast begins to become very active. Not as much east. We're still looking at somewhere between about a ½ inch and probably 3/4 of an inch in our immediate future here for the next 7 days. This would be valid through, it looks like, about Thursday morning next week. And staying with precipitation here, this is the GFS ensemble. And you can see just a little bouts of flurries basically overnight tonight, but this is mostly going to be affecting southern Vermont. It does look like we get into just enough warming aloft that conditions become a little bit more tricky here with some mixed precipitation events, maybe changing over to some rain showers. That'll happen, it looks like, on Sunday night and into Monday. And then a cold front wipes that out, and we get cold again, and it'll be cold enough for snow. And then down the road a piece, it looks like after the 3rd, we're looking at a little bit more in the way of precipitation. Fairly decent alignment right now in computer modeling with the European and the GFS ensemble. And changing that to temperatures, the ensemble forecast has a real good handle through about the 1st of December, and then it gets a little bit loose, you might say, with many of the model runs. But up through here, it looks pretty good. This is when we're going to warm up as we get into that slightly warmer air. Otherwise, coldest temperatures with a little bit of an Arctic chill is on the morning of the 29th. This will be a Saturday morning, and this could be the coldest time for this period. Really no concerns for utilities at this point. Again, aloft, it looks like we warm up for a little bit of mixed precipitation here during this period. We cool back down, and then we repeat that, a little bit more mixed precipitation up and coming as we get beyond the period, beyond the 3rd of December. These are the maximum temperature anomalies. This valid through next Tuesday evening, and cold weather across the northern tier areas. A warming taking place out of Mexico into a good section of the southwestern half of the country. For us, we're just going to be running a little bit below normal in temperature. And And you slide that 3 days later, and you see a little bit of warmer conditions. So just 3 days down the road, that waits out with a little bit of warm up here. All these are averaged out, of course, over a period of about 7 days. This is the Iowa State meteogram. It kind of spells it out visually very well. Temperature is really not going above 30 degrees over the next couple of days. Your maximum temperatures here the next couple of days. And then we get into some much colder air as strong radiational cooling sets the stage. And this will be for Saturday morning. And temperatures not shown here. It looks like the European model is giving us temperatures maybe as low as 5 to 10 degrees below zero in a few locations. Then pretty rapid warm up as we get into the day on Saturday afternoon. Not as bad in the night. And then pretty good warm up here as we get into basically on Monday. Another sharp cold front later on, and we do the same thing. So a lot of roller coaster rides in temperatures, and just about every time this takes place, we're going to have some sort of transition issue with some form of precipitation. However, it does look like it's going to be fairly light down the road, and that's good for utilities as this will stay out of our hair and be relatively unimpactful. And looking back at our storm, this is the snowfall totals. Oddly enough, Addison County ended up with the most near Orwell in the southern Champlain Valley, 16.5 inches. 16 inches also at Orwell. Cornwall, 14 inches. Over, we can go from county to county. This is alphabetical. 11 inches in Caledonia to be the top. Huntington at 11 inches. 10.2 inches over in Essex County in the Northeast Kingdom. Over in Franklin County, they did not receive very much. That was forecast well at 3.5 inches. 11 inches in Stowe, 12 inches in Braintree for the most for Orange County, and Orleans County up in the northeast part of the state, northern part of the state, 11.5 inches. That was at Greensboro. Down in Rutland County, 11 inches at Wells. Hydeville, about 10 inches. Washington County, about the center of the state, ranges 13.5 inches, 5 miles northeast of Waterbury. That's just on the other side of my location. I picked up about 9 inches. Baston, 13 inches. East Montpelier, 12. A foot also in Barry. A foot also just a little bit east and northeast of Cabot toward Joe's Pond. Around Warren, they picked up about a foot, 11.6 inches in Waterbury and so forth. Over in Windsor County, they picked up about 12.8 inches in Pomfret. Rochester, 12.2, 12 inches at Woodstock, and 11 inches in Bethel to round it all out. From the Grand Island region, it looks like maybe 1 or 2 inches up in the far northwest corner of the state of Vermont. That from the departing area of low pressure, now east of Nova Scotia. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.